So look, every day one should check and re-identify one's actual real-time position within the cycles of life, at minimum once a day. Ideally, though, every 3 hours. Because all of life is cyclical and is perfectly progressing geometrically forever. Because in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and the Creator geometrized in the beginning, and wisdom was there helping him, and wisdom is our sister. Amen. Now, what's going on is that every human being that exists right now, this is actually pertaining to everybody. This is what's so interesting about this, is the fact that what I'm saying is actually true, and hopefully it will be received by those who are worthy, because it is also a tool to be used for the good, right? And ultimately, whatever you make of what I say, you should make it in accordance with the will of the Creator and responsibly, because you will reap what you sow. Therefore, the fact is that every human being that exists right now, and actually everything in life, has a certain life cycle. For instance, with the human being, it starts when you take your first breath. And it goes from 0 to a maximum of about 144 years in terms of the simple overall period of human life. And also, you have a soul personality based on your birthday, right? That describes certain strengths that you have, blessings that you should utilize for the highest good, what choices you should make for your career, profession, what you should have pay attention to as to intelligently work on and be successful with, and pay attention to keep in a good way, for example, in health life, personal life, business life, right? And then what you should avoid. And also then you have, so that's the soul personality, that's the longest sort of cycle that's going on with everybody. And then the next one, going from long to short, is, like I said, it's your 0 to 144 year earthly human existence as a human being created in the image of God and after his own likeness. God is a living man of God, or a righteous woman, right? And then you got the annual life cycle period of 365 days. It always starts on your birthday. And there's 7 segments of 52 days therein, where there is particularly propitious things that could be accomplished and should be accomplished in health life, business life, and personal life. Okay, then you've got something called the long lunar unit of 3.5 days that always alternates between negative and positive. And then you've got something called the short lunar unit of 12 hours. And this also basically is visible as high tide, 6 hours later, low tide. 6 hours later, high tide. So then you've got the daily period of the cycles of life, whereof there are 7 a day that are classified as from A to G, and they go on 7 days, makes us strong, right? So here's the thing. What's interesting about this video is the fact that what I'm actually saying is true, and it doesn't even really matter what the opinion of anybody else is about this, in terms of the fact that what I'm saying is actually objectively true. And I can prove this, and I can identify this, and even show this to the general public if I have to. That basically every human being that exists today, whether knowingly or hopefully now wisely knowingly and clearly, cognizantly, magically, right, seeing clearly, is in fact in certain cycles of life, particularly 9 different ones. So every human alive today is currently within about 9 different cycles of life. Starting with ourselves, where it's most relevant, we have to map these cycles out at least once a day, pay attention to them, and then operate in harmony in accordance with them, and guess what happens? Maximum blessings, maximum health, wealth, and overall highest good being received, maintained, established, maintained, and so on. Good things, right? Good life, legit health, wealth, etc. Even realizing and manifesting and then collectively benefiting from our highest divine human potential, right? The purpose of life. All these things. You know, enlightenment happening at the right time around age 33. Then cosmic attunement also around age 33, enlightenment, cosmic attunement, right? Then everything being revealed to you gradually, then applying this wisdom, divine guidance, how to listen to the right divine guidance at the right time to be on the wise way that is legit, yeah? All this stuff, this is all going on cyclically, right? There's a time and a place for everything, so to say. And the thing is that what's so interesting now is that I can look at the news, okay, as a magi, as a seer, right? As a potential master, right? Somebody who's mastering the life and destiny. I can actually go and look at the news that the world produces today, and I can tell you why things are the way they are over here and there, and why this happened, because I just simply know about the cycles of life. And I'm always correct with my observations of the news. I'm going to give you an example of this. Now, think about this for a second. Every human right now is actually in the process of sort of determining his or her destiny on an ongoing basis, either knowingly or in a state of potentially varying levels of knowledge. So you should just simply know how it works and so-called begin to see clearly and to take wise actions so that you will actually master your life and your destiny in a way that is good. Because to be honest with you all and to tell you all the truth, you don't actually have a choice as a human being as to whether or not you can master or determine your fate and your destiny. It's simply an automatically predestined and divinely implemented mechanism that if I decide to do this, there's going to be consequences for this. If I decide to do that, there's going to be consequences for that. And there's no way around that. So the thing is, humanity has to be informed of the reality and the fact of the matter that's real and actually face the facts. And now listen, this is not something that's actually very difficult at all. In fact, I would rather have a little bit of homework for 5 minutes a day and know how to plan my day so that I'm successful than not. I think you would agree with me. So what I'm saying is that it's this subject of self-mastery is a big subject. This thing of self-mastery is the most ancient and the most, like the highest discipline that humans have ever attained in the process and also as part of the way, right? The derrick or the trot or the livity even. Yet it's something that is learned gradually and perfected. Okay, so what's happening is you're going to be faced with this, whether you like it or not. There will come a time when you will have to be able to make a decision that is wise, because that will result in some type of a good change or an increase of health and wealth or whatever it is in your life that is a good thing for you. Now, what happens is most humans actually do not actively, cognizantly, visibly, and intentionally see and know what's going on, like someone who's a magi who's really looking at it and knows, okay, I got to watch out for this. This is good. And I've got 9 cycles of life on my mind now that I got to pay attention to once a day or every 3 hours actually, so that I avoid a catastrophe and I can make a miracle happen, right? Not the average person doesn't know about this. And very few are interested in this, apparently. The more, the better, because that way humanity will collectively be able to achieve its potential and benefit therefrom, right? Realize and manifest and collectively benefit from its full divine potential. Okay, this earthly existence is not a mystery anymore. It's clear to us. We know where we come from. We know where we stand, and we know where we have to go. Okay, and so should you. And this is not something that is particularly related to any religion per se. Rather, you can utilize this regardless of so-called race, religion, creed, or national origin. It's just simply a scientific method that has existed for thousands of years and that is absolutely and totally legit. So as I was saying earlier, every human being right now is actually in different cycles of life. And if you knew, and now you know, that you should operate accordingly, you should operate wisely, you should operate in harmony with the cycles of life that you're in right now. Because if you do that, it's as if you will be accessing the good and the right things rather than not a lot happening, so to say. Not a lot really being accomplished. Or so, like, in every daily period and in every particular lunar unit or combination thereof, there's different things. The daily period is good for certain things in health life, business life, personal life, right? And it's not good for other things. Then you've got, so that's a 3-hour, 25-minute daily period where if there are 7 a day and they're different. Okay. So then you've got the lunar short and long unit where, for example, now what's happening is there will be either a double negative, a neutral, a positive, or a double positive lunar unit. And the state and a time frame when those are and how they exist is identifiable by a tide chart from the nearest maritime location, because there you can see what time there'll be a high tide or a low tide, or the long lunar unit of 3.5 days. It's got its reference point by the new moon. So 3.5 days after a new moon, it's a negative long lunar unit of 3.5 days, right? After that, it's a 3.5 day positive long lunar unit, and so on and so forth, till finally 3.5 days before a full moon, you've got a positive long lunar unit. Now, the reason why we got to map this stuff out is because, look, 3.5 days before a full moon, it's coming up here on Saturday actually, there's a positive space for 3.5 days where the energy that powers the universe and that goes through perfectly geometrical, orderly cycles in this heavens and earth plane system with earth, human, and life activity, where we have, negative, positive, male, female, day, night, full moon, empty moon, new moon, full moon, etc. The energy that powers the universe goes through a system in this system here where it alternates between negative and positive, and that is most readily visible actually by what the lunar units are. So it's not the moon itself that is making negative or positive energy or high tide or low tide. It's the energy that powers the universe that's also powering the heavenly bodies and then making them have an effect on, for example, like the moon has an effect on the body of water that causes tides, to actually emanate this positive or negative energetic effect. Now, all of this is all created to serve us, as with everything, right? Because we're the crowning of creation. So think of it that way. All you got to do is map it out. If you have this mapped out, you're on top of the world, so to say. And nothing and nobody can stop you. You're always victorious. You're always healthy and wealthy at just the right amount, too. Because if I have too much wealth at one moment, it's better I have just enough, the right amount. See, the Creator is perfectly providing. And the more you have wisdom and discipline, the better it all works. Because you have to be mastering your life and your destiny the right way. Now listen, just take it real gradually, step by step. Because, you see, if you try to dive into this, it's better that you just listen to this video and think about some of the things. And I'll refer you to a book now called Self-Mastery and Fate with the Cycles of Life by H. Spencer Lewis. Okay? So the link will be in the description of the video, right? And thank you to the Ancient Mystical Order of the Rosy Cross for publishing this great book and for the great contribution to humanity thereby. Yeah. So the thing is, you gotta actually master your life and your destiny because you're already doing it. Everyone is. There's no way around that. If I go north, I go north. If I go south, I go south. If I say yes, and if I say no, and if I, there's always natural law is always operational. You cannot escape it, nor does it need to be escaped. It's all created for the good, and it should be good. It should be good with you, with everyone, potentially. So these facts that I've stated here, these facts cannot be refuted by anyone who is in any way, shape, or form intelligent. It's a fact, just like the fact that the sun rises in the east, sets in the west every day. This happens. So this is so that you know this and so that you can utilize wisdom to master your life and your destiny and actually also discover and investigate life and gain wisdom and live a good life. And it's an interesting and it's a joyful learning and